Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, and today we're gonna do something a little bit different, a little more intimate. I just wanted to get real and raw with you and talk about my postpartum journey. And this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while now. It's actually been over 7 months since I gave birth, and I don't know why I never really got around to it. But yeah, here it is. It's only been 7 months, but I feel like I've grown and been stretched in many different ways. So I just want to share some of the stuff that I've learned and I've realized, and sana makatulong sa iba, or sana for other moms out there, maybe it could make you realize that you're not alone in what you're going through. So this is really something I wanted to share because I feel like this is something that I would have liked to see when I was pregnant or even right after giving birth. So here we go. Just to match the theme of rawness and realness, I was gonna get ready and everything. The baby's asleep na. Ito siya. Tulog na siya. And it's the end of the day. I feel sticky. I'm covered in milk and his food and everything. But, you know, I decided, let's just do this video. Hindi na ako mag-ready. So, pasensya na. As you can see, meron akong eye bags. I have blemishes, mosquito bites. I feel so sticky. I am excited to take a shower. So, pasensya na if I look tired and haggard. It's because I am. But anyway, giving birth, apart from it being one of the most beautiful things ever, and everyone would tell you that, I have to say during that time, I felt like I was at my most vulnerable, but at the same time, my most empowered state. Never have I ever felt so weak and so strong at the same time. It was so crazy, the roller coaster of emotions and just everything going on, everything that I was taking in, and even after. I also have to say, you know, tama yung sinasabi nila, because I have never felt a love like this and I've never felt a connection like this with my baby, and it's just the most amazing thing ever. And no matter how much people would describe it to me before, iba lang talaga, iba pag nandyan na. There is no way that you could ever know what kind of love this is before it's actually there. It's just so amazing. It's on an entirely different level. And I'm sure a lot of the moms out there know exactly what I mean. But as much as that has exceeded my expectations, labor and beyond, I had been warned, but I have to say, iba pa rin talaga din pag pinagdadaanan mo na. And there are so many things that either people didn't tell me, I didn't really listen to, or I didn't really pay attention to. But when I was going through it, grabe talaga. And of course, they tell you that your body will most likely change forever. So you're probably not gonna be as small as you used to be. Stretch marks, loose skin. My belly button looked like a war zone. And I was so shocked with how it looked, with how my body looked. But I mean, I was just going through so much mentally and physically that I really did not care. Like, it was the last thing on my mind. I knew that labor itself would be hard. That is a given. And I also knew, and people would continuously warn me, that recovery was gonna be hard. And we all know that it's very hard as well to take care of a newborn. And breastfeeding mamas, you all know how hard and how much of a struggle it is to breastfeed, especially when you're trying to do it for the first time. So I knew all of that was hard, and I was expecting that already. But what I didn't expect, or at least what I didn't take into consideration, was all of it would have to be happening at the same time. So imagine yung kakapanganak mo lang, you're freaking exhausted. This is the day that you were waiting for but dreading at the same time because it's the most intense pain you've ever felt in your life. And then it's finally done after hours and hours of pushing and taking your body to a completely different level. You finally have time to rest, right? Wrong. Because now the baby is here and the baby doesn't come with a handbook. So imagine you're trying to recover from childbirth, but at the same time, kailangan mo na alagaan yung bata. And the time that you thought you would be recovering, you're actually not sleeping. You're excited, you're anxious, and you're just clueless, and you're trying your best to learn, and you're trying your best to take it one step at a time. Pero yun nga, it's really so overwhelming at the start, especially like I said, if you plan on breastfeeding, because honestly, I was warned na mahirap siya, pero I didn't know na ganun pala talaga kahirap siya. And I understood right then and there why not everybody does it. Kasi not everybody can, diba? So that's actually where I understood when I was already going through it. And just let me know if you want me to talk more about my breastfeeding journey. I could make a separate video for that. But for today, I won't be talking about that yet. So you have your hormones mixed with sleep deprivation, mixed with anxiety, and just the unfamiliarity of it all. And it's just really so overwhelming. It can really get to you. And I have to admit, there were so many moments when I just felt like a failure, or at the very least, like I could just be doing so much better. I wouldn't say I had postpartum depression, but there is something that nobody ever talked to me about, and I only realized what it was in one of my mom groups when somebody opened up about it, and this was way after I gave birth, and that is postpartum anxiety. Before I ever gave birth and got pregnant, I already had anxiety. I would say I had a pretty chill pregnancy, so I stopped thinking about things that worried me, but it's different pag nandyan na talaga yung baby, and I am a worrywart. So that has been my struggle. My mind takes me to places na hindi na talaga normal, honestly. And I would just get so nervous, so stressed, and so anxious over nothing. And it would get me so drained, physically drained, because when you're mentally drained, you become physically drained as well. And I'd be tired almost every day just because my mind was racing. And ang dami kong iniisip na parang napaka-imposible naman mangyari. My mind just comes up with different scenarios na sa totoo lang, masasabi mong praning na talaga. Pero yun that's what I was struggling with. So I was warned about postpartum depression, so I just kept trying to battle that. Every time I'd have sad thoughts and I knew it was hormones, I really would try my best na i-kontra ko. But the anxiety, the worry, doon ako talaga nahirapan. And you know what? Both of them are very real. And it's so easy for other people to brush it off. One of my elders, sinabi niya na, you know, when I gave birth, hindi pa uso yung postpartum na yan. I didn't have postpartum. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the energy to go through something like that. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it already existed. It's just that nobody really had a name for it at that time. And, you know, I'm glad that nowadays people acknowledge it and that people talk about it and that people don't judge others who go through it. It's really so normal, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with you if you're going through this. So yun, I mean, I didn't go through full-on depression after giving birth, but I did have feelings, especially at the start. You know, I would feel like I wasn't good enough, and this would just stem from my own insecurities as a person, kasi ganun naman talaga ako mag-isip sa sarili ko. So imagine, you know, when you're actually, I wouldn't say pressured, pero when you just really want to be so good at something and when you want to do so well, of course, the feeling of insecurity does come in every now and then. So there were times I felt like no matter how much I tried, like I wasn't doing good enough. But at the same time, no matter what I do, I don't think I'm ever gonna feel like I'm good enough. Actually, in the past couple of months, I was starting to feel really down because of this whole lockdown period. And I know that so many people are going through the same thing right now. I actually wouldn't even connect it anymore to postpartum, but I feel like it's difficult to talk about it because the sadness and loneliness that so many of us are feeling right now feels kind of invalid because so many people are going through worse. I miss my friends, I miss my family, and just doing things that used to be so mundane, used to be so ordinary, and I just miss the normalcy. I miss how things used to be. And there are days when it really gets me down, especially ngayon na, you know, it's sad because AMARI is growing up so fast and my own family can't even be there with him as he grows up. You know, he hasn't met so many of his titos, his titas. It's just really not how I envisioned things would be. But then again, you know, we're all going through this. We're all going through it to some degree, and we're all trying our best to get through it. So I guess, you know, it's just accepting this time as a difficult time for all of us. Everybody goes through struggles. And as human beings, we are designed to go through ups and downs. It may look different for everyone, but we all know pain, we all know hopelessness, distress, and at the same time, we all know happiness and we all know love. With that said, I just want to share 10 postpartum tips, and I hope that they are helpful for you. So number 1 is actually the easiest one of them all, and it's take a bath. It's honestly the quickest way to get out of a slump. It's just take a bath, you feel fresh, you feel rejuvenated. And if you need to cry, I haven't cried in the longest time, but cry in the shower. It's really the most therapeutic. The water will wash everything away, from the tears to your uhog to everything, so you don't have to feel gross and you don't have to feel like a mess. I mean, if you feel like crap, promise you're gonna feel 10 times better after that. Number 2, eat well. Have food that nourishes your body, because food is fuel. But also at the same time, eat food that you enjoy eating. Don't deprive yourself. So even today, light exercise is still a huge stress reliever for me. It has always been, and I always feel great after a workout. In the past though, I used to push myself to exhaustion, and I used to force in sessions even on the days when I knew that I needed rest instead. But nowadays I work out just enough to release stress and toxins and sweat, and I'm just so much happier this way. I know I'm not as ripped as I was, but I'm just really happy and I accept my body more than I ever have. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have goals. I'm just saying that personally mine have changed, and so have my habits and my priorities. It's just so important to take care of yourself physically and mentally. Of course, I still have body goals, but I'm just so much kinder to myself now, and I'm not so hard on myself when it comes to that. And the road I'm on, how I've been doing things now, is not only healthier for me, but it's actually so much more sustainable because I'm able to balance and have the life that I want to have. I don't deprive myself of what I want to eat, pero I make sure na healthy pa rin yung mga kinakain ko for the most part because I'm still breastfeeding. And of course, because my health matters. Number 3, manage and release all expectations. Of course, you can have goals, but quit trying to prove yourself to other people and to yourself. Because honestly, it's just not healthy motivation. Embrace this for what it is and accept that you can't always change things or be in control. Whether it's your body, your baby, your parenting, you may not be the best, and you know what? You don't have to be. This is all really meant to be a humbling experience, because I personally think that you just can't grow and you can't learn unless you're humble. Because when you're humble, you're open, and at the same time, you accept that you don't know everything. And if you don't know everything, then you can learn more. There's no one way to parent. And just as soon as you think you're figuring things out, everything changes. As your baby grows into a child, into a teenager, into an adult, everything's just gonna be changing and changing and changing. So the moment you think you're getting the hang of it, bago na naman. And no advice, no book, no article could fully equip you with everything you need to know, because most of it really needs to be learned firsthand. Number 4, don't compare. Everyone progresses differently, every child grows differently, and everyone has their own different struggles, and chances are not everybody talks about it. So really just focus on what you have and what you need to take care of, and block everything else. Comparison is the enemy of gratitude. So just be thankful, just be grateful every day, and don't look to the side to see if the grass is greener, because the grass will always be greener where you water it. When it comes to being a parent, there's a very thin line between what's right and what's wrong. And at the end of the day, you really just have to go with what works for you and your baby, as long as you guys are happy, healthy, and safe. Number 5, take it day by day, step by step. Whatever it is, whether it's going for your own goals or raising your child. And before I had my baby, hindi ako yung type na sobrang mahilig sa bata. I didn't dislike kids, okay? Don't get me wrong, don't misquote me. I did not dislike kids. It's just I was so much of an animal person that I really liked animals more than people. And with babies, I don't know, I guess I just never really understood the hype. But ever since I gave birth, that just completely changed, and now I love all things baby, and every time I see a baby, I melt. But see, even that, it had to happen with time. It didn't happen immediately. It's not like nanganak ako and oh my god, I love babies. It took me getting to know my baby and transforming into the mother that I am today. And that is a process. It's not something that happens overnight or with the snap of a finger. Again, it happens with time, so give yourself time. Even yung mother's instinct, it doesn't kick in immediately. This is something that you really build over time. And whatever hard thing it is you're going through, just like in labor, tell yourself that this too shall pass. Number 6, don't isolate yourself. Strengthen your relationship with your partner. Seek help when needed. Reach out to other moms. Initially, my goal, honestly, was to do everything myself. But with that, of course, you lose time for yourself, you lose time for your partner, and you lose time for everything else around you that you need to pay attention to. So accept help, whether it's from your partner, your mom, or whoever, because really, it takes a village to raise a child. And that's what's best, not just for you, but also for the baby. Kasi maganda yung nasasanay din siya na maraming tao sa paligid. There's just more people he can learn from, more people he can be attached to, and more people who can show him what the world is like. And you know what? So many moms out there, especially mga single moms, are able to do it completely on their own. And I have so much respect for that. Napakagaling talaga nun. But it's really not easy. Sa totoo lang, now that I'm a parent, mas lalo akong napabilib sa mga single parents out there. Ideally though, even if it's not your partner, both baby and mama can benefit from having other people there to help or to just be present. So now, in the middle of a pandemic, I think what has helped me a lot was joining mom groups. And in those groups, we exchange stories, experiences, advice. We help each other when we have questions. And I learned that you can benefit from the wisdom, experiences, and expertise of other moms out there. So be open to that. It can be golden. And that leads us to number 7. Take whatever advice is helpful for you, but do selective hearing. Protect your peace because there will always be unsolicited advice, comments, bashing, criticism, on top of everything that you're already going through. But you know what? You are the only one who has full control of what affects you, and only you have the last say on how to raise your child. Number 8, make yourself a priority too. So of course, it's important to take care of your child, your family, your husband, your home, but please also take great care of yourself. Don't neglect yourself. One of my favorite pieces of advice is from my tita, and she told me that a happy mom is a good mom. And one of my favorite analogies is the oxygen mask, yung sa aeroplano. So, you know how they tell you na in case of emergencies, when the oxygen masks fall, always secure your own mask first before securing your child's. And I think that just makes so much sense here na, you know, if you don't take care of yourself, who is going to take care of your child? It's definitely important to take care of your child, but you also need to take care of the person who's taking care of everyone. You can't pour from an empty cup, and it's your responsibility to keep it full. So do a little something for yourself every day. And I mean every day, because if you let one day pass, it's gonna be 2 and 3, and then you're just gonna end up neglecting yourself. It doesn't even have to be anything big or grand. Also, give yourself some credit and cut yourself some slack because mom guilt is so real. Yung feeling na palagi kang nagkukulang, or yung feeling na you're not giving enough, you're not doing enough, you're not good enough, you have to give yourself a break. Again, you are never going to be perfect. You just have to accept that. You're going to make mistakes. So give yourself grace. In the same way that God gives you grace and forgives you every time we slip up, and He just gives you a brand new chance all over again, you need to do that with yourself too. Number 9, listen to your instincts, but surrender what is beyond your control. Lift it up. Pray, release the burden and the heavy weight, because being a parent will always make you worry regardless of their age and stage and where you're at in life. When I was pregnant, I was so chill because I knew I had to be. But when I gave birth, it was a completely different story. I am always, and I say always, constantly on my toes, and it takes a lot for me to accept that some things are just out of my hands. So this is where faith steps in. This is where trust steps in. You gotta have faith that everything is gonna go great, and it will. Wala ka naman talagang mapapala kung palagi kang kabado at palagi kang takot. Masistress ka lang ng todo. And number 10, show compassion, empathy, and understanding to other moms. Need I say more? My transition into motherhood was, and still is, a blissful, beautiful, yet difficult and humbling journey. It's a never-ending learning experience. I'm nowhere near perfect. I never will be. I still have so much that I need to work on, and in my opinion, I've made some small mistakes here and there, but I'm taking things day by day. And kasama na rin dun yung process of loving and accepting and embracing myself. And you know what? So many people told me na when I was pregnant na swerte ako kasi wala akong stretch marks. Well, guess who decided to show up on my last week of pregnancy? So the lines are still here, the stretch marks are still here. They're not dark anymore. They were a lot darker before. And you really can only see them up close. Pero yeah, they're still here, and I didn't think I'd actually care this little about them. Maybe because from the start I anticipated already and accepted that it's inevitable, na hindi mo talaga may iwasan na when you get pregnant, it's just a part of it. So I already conditioned my mind to thinking that way before I even planned on getting pregnant. Like, it's just, a possibility. I always knew that it was a possibility, and it was just really a matter of time for me. And yes, my body has changed. It still continues to change and heal and evolve. My marks are becoming way less visible over time, and things are kind of returning, maybe not back to normal, but they're getting a little better. And you know what? Part of them will always be there, and it's okay. Giving birth to our son really opened my eyes and made me see my body for what it truly is. A vessel. It's the home of my mind, my heart, my soul. It's where my son grew from a tiny speck into a beautiful little human being who will one day make a difference on his own. And right now, I'm his main source of nutrition and comfort, where he feels safe and happy. As much as I appreciate my own body for what it can do, I also love it for what it has brought into my life. So much has changed physically, but not once have I even thought of feeling any resentment towards my body, because the respect I have for it now is just so much deeper. I have a completely different perspective now, and I see things through fresh eyes. Beauty has a new meaning to me, and so does strength. I look at my son, and the gratitude I have just simply outweighs everything else. Like, if this is the trade-off, if this is what I need to sacrifice or I need to go through in exchange for my son, my gosh, sobrang hindi na ako aangal pa. I'm just so grateful. None of it matters. In his eyes, I'm more than enough. And it has inspired me to give myself grace and to see myself through the eyes of someone who loves me as I am. So if you're a mommy and you're struggling to accept yourself fully and completely for everything that you are, just know that you're more than enough too. So guys, yun lang. Sorry, I was just talking and talking and talking. I hope na kahit papano may sense yung mga sinasabi ko. And I hope that even just one thing in this video could be useful to you somehow. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here throughout our journey. And thank you, of course, for loving and supporting not just us, but AMARI as well. We're looking forward to sharing more videos with you soon. So don't forget to like and comment so that I know exactly what you guys want to see from us. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Love you guys!
Alright, I think it's recording. Hi guys, it's me, it's Billy. Postpartum, anxiety, depression, everything that women say they go through, believe it. It's 150% real. So you have to cater to your wife. Not by gifts and flowers and plants. No. It's not like that. It's about understanding what they've been through, what they're going through, and what they will go through. We have to kind of step back and let the moms take over, especially when the baby is just born. It's kind of like an animalistic way of thinking, because the child and the mom, they actually have to adjust and have that moment of understanding each other, feeling each other, the warmth, the care coming from a mom is completely different. They need that connection first. Second, patience. There will be times your wife will just hate your guts. Whether you did something or you didn't do anything, they just can't stand the sight or just being around you. To be honest with you, it's hard because you will hear certain things and certain words where you really want to help them out and tell them, no, it's not true. You look beautiful. The encouraging words and all that stuff, it helps a lot, but sometimes they'll really be against whatever you say. I've known a few artists who've been through postpartum depression for over 9 months, sometimes a year, 2 years. So the adjustment period really varies. It depends on how your partner's feeling, their needs, what they went through during their pregnancy and during labor and even after labor. So men, you have to be strong. You have to really cater to your partners. Parenting is a beautiful, beautiful thing because when you see a family bloom and blossom into a healthy family, a God-fearing, loving, joyful family, when you see families like that, it really inspires and it motivates you into becoming a better person because it takes a lot of work. Just work together. This goes both ways for men and women. Do not be so hard on yourself. I made that mistake before. Coleen was the one who told me, stop being hard on yourself because it really depresses you. It puts in these certain thoughts where we're not needed, we're useless around them. But no, husbands are as big of a role. Moms, the purpose that they have here in this world is just absolutely amazing. Being a mom, I personally will never ever go through, but I can try to understand and I can adjust and adopt. There's always room for improvement. There's no perfect parent. To all the moms out there, especially the single moms who are really taking care of business by themselves, and also single dads out there who can't breastfeed, who can't really do all the stuff that women do, but still try to do it. Hats off to you guys. I have so much respect. I really, really salute you guys. I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the world.